Your Majesty, thank you very much for joining us from London.
Pleasure.
You have just come back from Greece. What is the feeling there?
Well, I went down to see with my wife the lighting of the Olympic flame for the London Olympics. The feeling is, at that time, of considerable anger and apprehension as to what would happen next. And the President of the Republic has been trying very hard to find common ground for all the political parties so we can proceed from there.
There's a lot of questions about what do the Greeks want. Your son has written a very interesting piece for a publication in which he says, and I wonder if you agree, that Greeks do not want to get out of the euro or out of the eurozone. Is that what you think?
I think that's probably correct. I think it's about 80% of the people would like to stay in the euro.
Your Majesty, should the Greek people be prepared to make sacrifices in order to stay in the euro, in the eurozone? As you mentioned, 80% say they want to do that, but frankly 60% say they don't want to submit to these austerity measures. Do you believe that sacrifice is still necessary and must happen?
Unfortunately, the way things are going, yes, I would think that that is probably the case. And it's really causing a lot of difficulties. People can't pay, they don't get their pensions, they can't look after the young people unemployed. It's nearly 50% of them. Nearly 1 million Greeks are out of work. It's a really serious problem. We need stability, a strong government, pro-European, that will find a solution to this problem. And in Europe, the governments should understand that there's no point in forcing people to accept these austerities. Otherwise, you won't get anywhere. So back off, take a deep breath, and start again.
You say that, sir, but as you know, the Chancellor of Germany has said we're not backing off. It's either go to reforms or you won't get any more bailout money, and that may in turn lead to a hasty exit from the euro.
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to second-guess the Chancellor of Germany, who's got our own difficulties in elections. But the problem really is that if we all go down this road of austerity, it won't be much good for her and her country. It will be a disaster.
You say disaster. What do you think would happen to Greece if it did get out of the euro?
Well, if you can't pay the bills, you can't pay for anything in the country, it'll come to a standstill, virtually bankruptcy. It will be a real nightmare.
Let me ask you to describe for me what it is that the Greek people feel so angry about when it comes to Germany. What happened, you know, in World War II that makes them dress up Angela Merkel today in Nazi uniform, for instance? Where is the anger from?
Well, you have to remember that Greece did suffer enormously under the Nazis. A lot of people were executed under the Nazis, and especially there was huge hunger. People were starving and died from that. The Jewish population in the north of Greece was disseminated, and it's left a lot of scars. But that now we have to get on with life and try and remember the important things that are in the minds of the people, and that is that they need the austerity to be taken care of, and we need growth. That is the most important thing. Without growth, there won't be any future for Greece. And this is vital in a democracy. Otherwise, we go to extremes.
Well, you see extremes popping up right now. There are extremes. I mean, one of these so-called neo-Nazis has taken for the first time a parliamentary seat. How much does that worry you?
It worries me indeed, because I think that that is simply a reaction. It's quite possible that you will see that this will change in the next general election. I think people got quite a surprise.
And let me ask you a final question, because your sister is Queen of Spain. The King of Spain there is a constitutional monarch as well, but he brought democracy back to that country after dictatorship. And there is a huge financial economic problem there too. In fact, people are very worried that the Greek, let's say, virus is going to be contagious and that Spain is going to catch this disease. Do you worry about that? Do you talk to your brother-in-law, the King of Spain?
No, I think it's best to not mix up in other people's business. But I know that from what I read, that both Italy and Spain and Portugal and all those countries in the south are concerned about it. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But let us be objective. What is needed is people must stop attacking each other, must stop being belligerent, stop saying the other one is at fault, try and find the middle road. We have to get the country back on its feet, and we can do it. I'm actually quite optimistic that we can get the country back working again. And all it needs is calmness and concentration, and keep your sense of humor if it's possible.
King Constantine, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
And as we've been saying, Europe has been turned upside down and the loose coins are falling out of its pockets. But across the world, in Afghanistan, women could be paying an even higher price. A story and a face that you won't soon forget when we come back.